Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So since this is the first time I'm amongst all of you, happy Kartik. You've never been wished like that, right? Has anyone wished you happy Kartik? Not yet? Yes, Abhi? Yes. So we are in the month of Kartik. In Krishna consciousness, especially in ISKCON, we say that we are in the month of Damodar. This is the Damodar month. And it is perfectly legal to say this is Damodar month. The only calendar that we may know of is the Gregorian calendar or the English calendar. So we are in the month of October. According to the Hindu calendar, this is the month of Kartik. And according to the Gaudiya Vaishnava calendar, this is the month of Damodar. Alright? So previous to this, we had the month of Rishikesh, now we are in the month of Damodar. So in the month of Damodar, in the month of Kartik, everyone gets into a frenzy. Do you know why? Especially if you come to this ISKCON temple, or if you go to any temple that professes the culture of Sanatana Dharma, then there is a lot of energy in this month. The reason being, temples are all lit up. Everyone is offering lamps. None of the artificial lamps. In this month of Kartik, wherever you are on this planet, we try and offer lamps with real wicks. Now that could be ghee lamps. That is what we do in these ISKCON temples. Our wicks are dipped in clarified butter or ghee. But in many temples all over India, we offer oil lamps because they last longer. That's why. So in this particular month, there's a lot of emphasis on offering of lamps. Today is also a very special day. Today is a day where we have nice feast after Ekadashi. Today is Dwadashi. And according to the almanac, the Panchanga, the calendar, the holy month of Kartik is special in many ways. One of the reasons why it is special is that today we worship cows and calves. It is known as Govatsa Dwadashi. Today is Govatsa Dwadashi or Govatsa Dwadashi, and in the regional languages, Prakrit Bhasha, it is also known as Vasu Baras. Vasu means Vatsa. Vasu Baras means the 12th day of the dark moon fortnight where we worship the cows. Now Krishna has two names in relationship to the cows or to the cow community. One is Gopal and the other is Govinda. Gopal and Govinda. One of these names of Govinda was offered to him in the month of Kartik for the very first time. Before that, no one knew him as Govinda except us. We are very intelligent people, we are well read, so we know that Krishna always eternally is known as Govinda. But in the land of Braj, Vrindavan, about 5,000 years ago, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead Shri Krishna had appeared as a son of Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maiya in Gokul, no one had any idea that his name is Govinda. They should have come to our programs. If they had attended our lectures or come to our Gurukul, they would have known. The residents of Vrindavan would have known, right? That this is Govinda. But for them, it really doesn't matter because Krishna is their child. So the name Govinda was offered to him for the first time in the month of Kartik. That is another story that we are not going to address, or pastime that we are not going to address today. Today we'll speak very briefly for a few minutes about Krishna and the cows. How dear are the cows to Krishna? Very dear. But there's someone more dear from the cow community to Krishna than the cows themselves. Any idea? Gopis. That's a cowherd community. I said just the cow community.
Okay.
Then Surabhi. All right. Krishna is a little child. He practically stayed in Vrindavan. He did not even go into his pre-teens. Tween? He wasn't even a tween when he left Vrindavan. Under 10. So he has more affinity for calves. More than cows, he has special affinity for calves. As Gopal, he takes care of the calves of Vrindavan, the buds. Alright? Because they are as innocent in nature as he is. Krishna is very innocent by his swabhava, by his nature, right? Is he an innocent boy? What do you think?
No.
He's never been innocent, ever. Other than Mother Yashoda, nobody believes that he is innocent by his swabhava. He's always up to some kind of mischief. But the calves are one better than him. So early on, when Krishna and Balaram were they had just learned to crawl. They couldn't even walk. The calves would always be around them in the courtyard. Because in those days, the cows and the calves were never tied up. They were not kept tied up. Somehow everyone was very secure in their dealings with each other, including the cows and the cowherd community. They never needed to tie up the cows with ropes. There are many reasons for that. One of the reasons is that the cows, they knew that they're also living beings, right? As a living being, you feel comfortable wherever all your needs are met. Is it true? For example, if you've been to programs, some of you have your visitors here, some of you are already connected to Krishna consciousness. So, such programs, you feel comfortable because your needs for the evening are taken care of. You'll get good, sumptuous food. That is very important. Now, if you were to attend an event where there was no food after the event, you wouldn't feel as comfortable, right? So you'd be in a hurry. I have to go back, I have to take my dinner. But here, because there's going to be sumptuous prasad for everyone, we are okay to just relax. So the cows, they were completely taken care of by each family that they were members of, family members of. So there was no need to tie them up. So when Krishna and Balaram would crawl around their courtyard, now courtyards are typically outside the house, the front courtyard. They would be crawling in the courtyard. The calves would be loitering around them. And Krishna and Balaram would find it very, very intriguing. They felt a strong sense of belonging towards the calves. They felt that we and the calves are of the same species. Because every other human around them would be walking around on two limbs. The only living beings that would be walking around on four limbs would be these two boys and the calves. So they actually felt that we are calves. However, they found that the calves have very long ears. So Krishna and Balaram, they would hang onto the ears of the calves. Now, as babies, they would try to stand up on their feet. So they would pull down on the ears, and the calf would feel very uncomfortable. So the calf onto whose ears they were holding on would just bolt off. Now remember, Krishna and Balaram don't know to walk, they can only crawl. The calf can run. The calf has sufficient strength to drag along two little babies. But there's just a courtyard. Sometimes when you have a horse farm, you're on a farm and you have horses, so you have a special place within which the horses, you have that area, and the horses run around the perimeter. So the calf started running around the perimeter of this courtyard. The other calves, they just gave this calf way because they realized this calf is in a different mood. Krishna and Balaram were hanging on to the ears, and they were getting dragged along their little bums. They were being dragged along. In those days, they wouldn't have boards, right? Krishna and Balaram could not go cow dung boarding, like snowboarding. It was snowboarding here, so they did not have boards. So all they had was their diapers. And they would be dragged along. And after some time, the calf would get tired, and Krishna and Balaram would heave a sigh of relief and let go. But there were times when they had to let go while the calf was in motion. And they would slide along the mud that was caked over with liquid cow dung and cow urine. And by the time Mother Yashoda would find the two boys, they had already taken their auspicious bath. A lot of shampoo and so he loved the calves. And this is specially revealed when Krishna was about 6 years old. Balaramji was taking care of preparations that was being done at home. It was his birthday. So he couldn't go along with Krishna, Sridama, Subal, Stoka Krishna, Madhumanga, Arjun, all these coward boyfriends. He couldn't go along with them. His mother Rohini had told him, no, you have to stay back. There are certain pujas that has to be done, and after the pujas are done, the completion is done with the Avabrita Snan, a special bathing ceremony. So you have to stay here at home. Brahmaji decided to steal away the calves and the cowherd boys. Brahmaji somehow, with his 4 heads, he could figure out the exact number of calves and cowherd boys that were there along with Krishna. Because he had to steal away all of them. He couldn't leave behind a single calf or cowherd boy. So Brahmaji stole all the calves and cowherd boys. Krishna was left alone with no one around him. Krishna figured it out. I mean, he may be an innocent child, but he still receives all data and information from all over the universe. Oh, Brahmaji has taken the cowherd boys. No problem. Let them take some rest. They need a break. Because every single day they were given this task, go out herding the calves. Some of the calves were old enough to be cows, but they're still calves. They were not cows and bulls as yet. They were not adults. They were not 18 as yet. The other calves were younger. First thing that came to Krishna's mind is, how will I go back to my village and face the mothers? And they ask me, where are our children? Now, if Balaramji would have been there, then Krishna would have told, ask Balaram, thou. But Balaram was not there. It was the first time in his entire life that Krishna knew that he had to answer to what had happened. It had never happened in his entire life up till now. The first time Krishna had to face the heat. But he said, no, I am not doing that. He expanded himself into cowherd boys so that every mother felt comfortable that her child was back home, and into calves so that every mother cow and father bull felt comfortable that their calf was back home. Every single calf to the little dot, exactly similar. Talk about cloning. And then Brahmaji comes back with all the calves and cowherd boys after 1 year of Braja time. And all the cowherd boys are back, the calves are back. So there's going to be a problem because everyone is going to see their replica. So Krishna makes all these forms disappear, and in place of all the calves and cows are 400 form Vishnu Murtis. And each Vishnu Murti enters into the transcendental form of Krishna and disappears. Sometimes There is a lot of discussion as to who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And from what has been described in the scriptures, there is none, no one has been able, to, or not able, I would say that no one has ever revealed this capacity that Krishna had. So many forms of Vishnu, and all of them enter into Krishna. We have seen other incarnations like Narasimha Dev. Did you watch Mahavatar Narasimha? You liked all the asanas that was shown? Narasimha standing on his little finger. Krishna lifted Giriraj with his little finger, but Narasimha Dev was standing on the nail of his little finger, upside down. Amazing. That is called as artist's license, poetic license. Yoga Narasimha never did that, but we can say this is the Yoga Narasimha pose. Narasimha Dev with his nails. Only in the Ramayana the monkeys would do that with his nails. He was destroying the powerful forms of the Daityas and Asuras with his nails. I mean, he manifested himself with so many hands and astras, but he just uses nails. Powerful. Lord Ramachandra, with one arrow, he smashed through 7 huge sala trees, pierced them. Lord Shiva, he drank the hala poison and kept it in his throat. Other powerful personalities, they've manifested so much of opulence, but no one has come close to this incidence. Thousands upon millions of Vishnu Murti forms all enter into Krishna, and Krishna does not even give a burp. He's like completely relaxed. He doesn't have to adjust himself. This is Matrix at another level. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is today's Basu Bas or Gavatsa Dwadashi. Okay? So in the month of Kartik, what is this emphasis on lighting lamps? So there is a reference in the Puran, and I would like you to repeat after me. Deepenapi hi yatrasau. Everyone has to do it, because if you miss out, then the benediction that has been given for reciting this is immense. Deepenapi hi yatrasau priyate haririshwarah sugitam cha dadateva Paradipa Prabodhanat. Everyone could recite it. There's some problem with the third line. Were you stumbling there? Okay, so that is not helpful. We have to do it correct. Okay? So I'll recite it again very slowly. Deepenapi hi yatrasau priyate haririshwarah Sugitam cha dadateva Paradipa Prabodhana. Lighting a lamp for Lord Hari, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ishvara, is very pleasing to the Lord. So, do we want that Lord Hari be pleased with us? Do we want that to happen? Should Lord Hari be pleased with us or no? Yes? Then all we need to do is light a lamp and offer it to Ishvara. Offer it to whom? Ishvara. Who's Ishvara? Lord Krishna, Lord Hari. Okay? But there is something more. If you want an extra bonus, then all that you have to do is this. Paradeepa Prabodhana. Prabodhana means help, assist. Prabodhana, facilitate. Paradeepa. However, if you assist somebody else, or if you light a deepa, a lamp, and offer it to someone else so that they can offer it to Lord Hari, then Krishna becomes mightily pleased. So he is pleased if you offer a lamp to Lord Hari. However, if you assist someone else, you may prepare a lamp for your offering to Lord Hari, but if you bring along 2 lamps or 3 lamps, so that those extra lamps you can offer to someone else, you can give to someone else, such that they can offer it to Lord Hari, then Krishna becomes very, very, very pleased with you. In fact, if you miss out on that chance and somebody else offers, Krishna becomes completely sold out to you. What else do we need to do in the month of Kartik? We light lamps, right? Once upon a time, long, long, long ago, there was a town known as Siddhashram, a little village, a hamlet. But this hamlet was on the banks of the river Saraswati. Which river? River? Where is river Saraswati today? It's not there.
Under.
Is it under? Under. If you go to Mayapur, Saraswati Jal. You know where is Saraswati? In Mayapur? In Navadvip? Ask Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur would every day drink from the waters of river Saraswati. Do you know where is river Saraswati? Godruma Dweep and Shwananda Shukhatakunja. The home of Bhaktivinoda Thakur is on the banks of the river Saraswati, which is also known as Jalangi. Is it the same river that we are speaking of? No. Maybe not. But he called it Saraswati. So, Saraswati is also flowing for a short distance at the holy place of Bhima Ghoda at Badrinath, where she meets the river Alaknanda. Ganga. But this is not the Saraswati that we are speaking of. That the Saraswati that we are speaking of in this story is the one that has gone under. The one that would flow across the tract of northern present day India from the Himalayas down to the ocean, which we call as the Arabian Sea. Saraswati flow all the way to the Arabian Sea. So on the banks of this river was a little village. And the name of the village is, somebody remembers it, Siddhashram. In this village lived a Brahman. Now typically in our stories the Brahman has to be poor. If the Brahman is rich, then he will be a naughty Brahman. So this is a poor Brahman. His name is Kapil. Very kind-hearted, very gentle in his mannerisms, sweet-spoken, full of all good qualities as a Brahman should be. He was married, he had a wife. His wife was the very embodiment of the supreme goddess of fortune, but they had no money, no riches. The only wealth they had was the richness of their heart. Their home was always open to serve anyone. If you have a home and you do not have much, it's easy to serve others because there's not much that you fear of losing. Correct? Is it true or is it not true? Let's suppose you have a lot of leftovers of whatever, clothes, shoes of previous years. Presently, you have no shoes. Why? Because the old shoes are not what you want and you haven't purchased a new one. So, right now, you're poor from that point of view. If someone comes and asks for shoes, you're like, yeah, take anyone. So, if one is, what does poverty do? Poverty helps us or puts us in a situation where we cannot have expectations in life. And especially if being poor is not making us uncomfortable. What can a poor man dream of? But as soon as you have wealth, you start dreaming of so many things. Correct? Like if you have money and you're in Vrindavan, then definitely you'll think of going to the Govindas at MVT. But you decided this is the first time in Vrindavan, and someone has convinced you that when you're in Vrindavan, you should not have much any wealth with you. Then you'll never have the opportunity to go to Govindas. You'll simply eat whatever simple sadhus have for food, for prasad. But in that situation, if you have the wealth of knowledge, if you have the vision of knowledge, and you realize that life is just a temporary phase from point A to point B, and the goal of human form of life is to achieve uninterrupted service unto Lord Krishna, then every moment is an opportunity to serve Krishna. If you have nothing to offer with your senses, then you have your tongue, which you can use to offer prayers of glorification unto Lord Hari. So that is what the Brahman would do, Kapila. He would regularly glorify Lord Krishna, Lord Hari, 24/7. And he was very happy doing that. And his wife was so supportive. In fact, his wife was the very pillar of his life of happiness because she was so caring towards him and she was so loving towards all living entities that he never felt alone in his life. He felt well cared for, well, felt very happy in life. And therefore, it was so easy for him to go out and do what a Brahmin should do, beg for alms, no demands from home. Therefore, he could, with an open mind, ask for bhiksha. And sometimes you'd get grain, sometimes you'd get some cloth, sometimes you'd get some gold. It would help tide up things a little bit. But without fail, you'd try and see if you could get some oil in alms. Because you bring that oil, put it in a lamp, get some cotton, old cloth, make a wick out of it, and offer the lamp to Lord Hari, to Lord Krishna. Every day he would do it. And whatever little they could manage to make at home, to cook at home, he would offer that to Lord Hari, Lord Krishna. Because it was an open house, so to say. Whenever they would get an opportunity, a lot of mice would run into the house to get whatever crumbs they could get. But the mice were sure that at least if they are careful, they would get some sweet oil to drink and to nibble on to the wicks that were soaked in oil. At least that they would get. So there was a friendly neighborhood of mice that stayed around this house. Because they were such nice, really fattened up mice, there is also a cat. And the cat made it its point to always be present around the deity of Lord Vishnu that this Brahman had at home. Because that is where the mice would all come. It was like the sangam for the mice. So the mice would all come to where the deity was because that is where the lamps would be there. And the cat would always be around the deity. And Kapila and his wife would not mind them being around. They let them do their business, whatever. Let them be happy with whatever they were doing. Now comes the month of Kartik. And what happened in the month of Kartik? Lord Brahman Kapil, he decided to be more dedicated towards serving Lord Hari. And on the day of Ekadashi, the one that we had yesterday, maybe Rama Ekadashi, or it could be the next Ekadashi, on the day of Ekadashi in the month of Kartik, he decided to do something very, very interesting. You know what? That which is recommended for all conscious beings to participate in the month of Kartik. What should we do? So please repeat after me. Snanam, Jagaranam, Deepam, bathing regularly, at least in the month of Kartik. What does that mean? It doesn't mean, or some of you may feel that we do that every single day. No, at the same appointed hour time. Every single day in the month of Kartik, one must bathe, and specially recommended is to bathe before Brahma Muhurta, so that at Brahma Muhurta you can go and attend a wonderful Arati of Lord Hari. Krishna wakes up and his arati is in the Brahma Muhurta time, about 1.5 hours before sunrise. So bathing regularly at the appointed hour, at the appointed time in the month of Kartik is very important. Jagaranam. What is Jagaranam? Remember the last party where you went late into the night? Was it very recent? Last couple of months? Where you were at some party and it's 11 o'clock, it's 12 o'clock, and you're like, it's all right. How many of us have been there in the last couple of months at a party like that? How many of us have not been at a party like that, at an event like that, where we went extended into the night? Past 1 year,
Janmashtami is considered.
Janmashtami is a party. For us, it's a party, right? Because we're having fun, we are having nice prasad, kirtan. Only Krishna is like, yeah, I have to take so much of Abhishek. He is the one being bathed. So many liters of milk and yogurt and all the kinds of fruit juices that we put onto him. We are like having fun, just kirtan, prasad, nice charnamrit afterwards. It's party night. In Kartik, we do it specially without any of the other, distractions or articles needed to keep awake. We just stay awake. At least one day in the month of Kartik, Jagaranam. It is called as Jagaran. Deepam, offering lamps. Okay? So, Snanam, Jagaranam, Deepam. We've understood these three activities we have to do. Snanam, bathing regularly in the month of Kartik. Jagaranam, at least one day to as many hours, if not 24 hours, then 20, 16, 12. At least one day in the month of Kartik, we dedicate so many hours to staying awake and chanting the holy names of the Lord. Then, Deepam. As many times as possible, we try and make offerings of ghee lamp to the Lord. Snanam Jagaranam Deepam Tulasi Vanapalanam Kartikeye Prakurvanti Te Nara Vishnu Murtayaha. So three we've already discussed. The fourth is Tulasi Vana Palana, worshipping Tulasi Devi, taking care of Tulasi Devi. If we are able to participate in all of these activities or just one of these activities in the month of Kartik, then the month of Kartik, the presiding deity of the Kartik month is so pleased that she immediately offers us Vishnu Murti. We are guaranteed a transcendental form, which is a Vishnu Murti form, a form similar to Lord Hari, Lord Vishnu. So how is it that some of us may not be, we may feel that maybe that is not possible. What could make it not possible? This is an offer. However, if we get distracted to something else, like the wonderful pizza that has been offered to Lord Krishna and has come to the prasadam stall, and we get distracted by that wonderful prasad in the form of pizza, because it is so full of cheese. The cheese that is kind of just flying out of the pizza is so attractive that we don't look at the gulab jamuns, we don't look at the cake, nothing else, just the pizza. That becomes a distraction. How? Because the next time we come to the temple, we could ask, is that pizza still around? Has somebody still? So we are at a temple, but it is a tongue that becomes our chauffeur. That is, it is a tongue that pulls us towards the temple. So we will be guaranteed a Vishnu Murti, but it could take us some time. It could be in this birth or a few more births. It could take some time because of distractions. So we have to be very careful that once we are assured of the benefits of the month of Kartik, we do not get distracted for the rest of our lives in this human form of life. We stay away from distractions. We stay focused. So Kapila, the Brahman, he decided to fast on the day of Ekadashi. His wife also fasted along with him. So together they encouraged each other to fast from food and water. At the same time, they made wonderful offerings of food to Lord Hari, the deity that they were worshipping. And throughout the day, they kept oil lamps burning in front of the deity. So they are fasting. Since morning, they are offering ghee lamps, and the wife is cooking, and sometimes the Brahman is cooking, and they bring those cooked food preparations and offer it to Lord Hari as an offering. And they leave it there because they are fasting. So they leave the offering right there for the Lord to feast whenever He wants to feast. Throughout the day, the Lord can feast. Now, the local community around, friendly neighborhood that we spoke about, which is a friendly neighborhood, the mice, they are very excited. Unfortunately for them, they come up to that altar room, but they see either Kapila or his wife there, and they scamper off. They're afraid to come in. It looks very attractive, but they cannot come into the room. The day passes on, turns into evening, night falls. Now, since the mice are all, they're right around that place, there's somebody else that is not leaving the room. And that is the cat. The cat is waiting for some mice to come in so that it can pounce on the mice and eat it. The mice are not coming in, they are right there at the perimeter, and then they again run off. The cat doesn't want to run after them because the cat knows the mice are too quick. They're very quick. So the cat is waiting in the room. The cat waited in the room for the entire day, evening, into the night. The wife is very tired. Kapila tells the wife, please go and take some rest. So late into the night, she goes into another room to take some rest. And Kapila is by himself, sitting in front of the deity with all of those preparations and the oil lamp lit. And when you're by yourself, and it's been a long day, whatever you do all of your stretches. You try and use your intelligence. Everything falls short of a special guest that is going to visit you. That is sleep. There's no way you can avoid this special guest. So after some time, Kapila started nodding off. And the nods of sleep that he was getting into, duration was increasing slowly but surely. So Kapila was, he was sitting in front of the deity and he was chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna. What could he do? He was very tired. He was stuck on Krishna. Some part of the Mahamantra where he couldn't, he was just stuck there. But suddenly he would come back to consciousness. Krishna. And you'd remember, I was stuck at Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It was as if he had never gone off to sleep. So this kind of chanting has been going on for generations since Satyuga. You have to deal with it. Everyone had to deal with it. Every generation had to deal with that. And they did it. So there was one particular time past midnight when he fell off into deep sleep. Not really deep, deep sleep, because if you're sitting cross-legged, you cannot go off into deep sleep unless and until you fall down. And when you fall, you wake up again. So he was into deeper slumber than before. The mice found that opportunity. But they said, we need a volunteer. One of you has to run off and see if it is safe. The person who was most adventurous was the person who wanted to have the best food preparation that was there. Typically, we only volunteer when we know that the returns are going to be very, very interesting. So whenever somebody is, either it would be status, I get to be well known amongst my friends, my community. It could be some benefits, volunteer. So one mouse volunteered, ran up to the altar. Kapila was like really nodding off. But there was someone else that was not sleeping. That was a cat. The cat saw its opportunity the entire day, since morning through the evening, past midnight. This was the cat's first meal. The cat jumped, but because the cat was never used to being in devotional mood for an entire day and half of the night, like in deep meditation, it was never used to doing that. This was the first time, right? Reflexes were very slow for the cat. So by the time the cat reached the altar in front of Lord Vishnu, the mice was gone. But when the mice saw the cat come in, the mice forgot its escape route because it was in distress. So it ran whichever way it could. And when it ran, that with its front foot, the mouse hit a lamp that was about to die off. When it hit the lamp, the oil was shaken inside the lamp. The oil moved. And because the oil moved, the wick moved. And because the wick moved, now the wick got some breathing space. And it burst into flames. It was about to die off. And suddenly, the wick finds sufficient oxygen, breathe. It took a deep breath. And the lamp lit up again very brightly, so brightly that the brightness hit the eyelids and pierced the eyelids of Kapila. And Kapila woke up He went Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. The entire night passed. After that, Kapil did not fall to sleep. Mice did not come in. The cat stayed awake the entire night. Ekadashi was done in Kartik. After that, the rest of the Kartik month, the husband and wife, they did their services very nicely. The cat and the mouse were again at their particular relationship. The cat and the mice. Many, many years later, Kapila and his wife, they died. Because Kapila had lived his entire life worshipping Lord Vishnu, he was guaranteed freedom from the cycle of birth and death. But specifically, since he had offered such wonderful worship by doing snana, jagaran, bathing, staying awake the entire night, making offerings, chanting the holy names, a wonderful plane from the spiritual world of Vaikuntha Viman came to take him back. And since his wife has always been his better part, she also got her own airplane, and both the husband and wife went back to the spiritual world. Because of the benediction that they had received from the month of Kartik. Kartiki Devi, she offers these benedictions. But very interestingly, the cat had also fasted the entire day on Kartik Ekadashi. The cat had not moved away from the temple room. The cat had stayed focused on Lord Vishnu. Because the cat had fasted in the month of Kartik and had focused on Lord Vishnu unknowingly, without any ulterior motives of why the cat is focused on Lord Vishnu. No ulterior motives, just pure attention on Lord Vishnu. The entire day, the entire night, till the next morning. And the cat had kept away any mice from interfering with the offerings of Lord Vishnu. The cat had protected the offerings of Lord Vishnu. A special airplane from Vaikuntha came down, and the cat died. And although the cat was supposed to take birth in 8,400,000 species of life, the cat also got Vishnu Murtayaha. After giving up its body, the cat also received a transcendental form of Vishnu Murti and went back to the spiritual world. The mouse that was trying to run away from the cat. The entire community, mice community, had fasted. But this particular mouse had lit a lamp for Lord Vishnu and had assisted Kapila in his offering of lamps by making that lamp alive again and not letting it die. It had the mouse had protected Kapila's offering of service because he had fallen off asleep. If he had been awake, he would not have let the lamp go down. So, because the mouse had assisted Kapila, a Vaikuntha Viman came for the mouse too, and then the mouse died. Although the mouse was also supposed to take so many other birds and so many species of life, immediately the mouse also got the 400 form similar to the form of Lord Vishnu. And the mouse also went back to the spiritual world. So this is how merciful the month of Kartik is. Very merciful. Therefore, in the month of Kartik, we Vaishnavas we offer a special prayer, very special prayer. Namo Deva Damodar Ananta Vishnu Prasida Prabho Dukha Jalabhiman Kripa Drishti Vrishyati Dinam Batano Grihani Shamamagyam Medhakshi Drishya Kripa Drishti Vrishyati Dinam Batano Grihani Shamamagyam Medhakshi Drishya Mam Agyam. Ignorant fool I am. Because in ignorance I get distracted. If one is ignorant that there is $1 million sitting behind one, stacked behind one, and one is simply distracted by the video games that are there on a screen, then one is ignorant. So, Mam Agyam, Grihana Isha, oh my dear Lord, Isha, oh supreme powerful being, Grihana Isha, please, please, please shower some kindness on me, some mercy on me. Grihana Isha. Please, my dear Lord, my sincere prayer. So Krishna will say, but I am just a little baby. So we say, Damodar, you're Ananta, you're unlimited. Because although you are bound to the mortar, you liberated the sons of Kuvera. So you're Ananta. Namo Deva Damodar Ananta Vishnu. But he will say, but I am in Vrindavan. You're so far away from me. My dear Lord, you're Vishnu. You're everywhere. You're right here. When I'm praying unto you, you hear my prayers because you're Vishnu. Vasati Sarvatra iti Vishnu. As Lord Vishnu, the name Vishnu indicates that Lord Krishna is in every single atom in this creation. So, Namo Deva Damodarananta Vishnu Prasida. Please be pleased with me. Please be pleased. Krishna is like, hey, I'm eating butter, Please give me. I have my own things to do. Prabhu, you're not just a little child who needs butter and food and needs to be taken care of. You are my master, little master. You're still my master. Dukkha jalabdhi magnam. My dear Lord, do you even know how my day was today? It was one problem after another. Some other issue I was dealing with. Dukkha jalabdhi, ocean of problems that I have to deal with. I have to deal with things. I have to work so hard, so much. Kripa drishti vrishyati. Don't just look upon me. I mean, others, when they get looked upon by you, they are immediately benefited. I am such a dull-headed person. Just your glance upon me is not going to work. So, vrishyati, shower your glances upon me. So Krishna is like, hey, Are you offering me a job that I have to constantly shower you with my glances? So we are like, we are serving Lady Radha Rani. If you shower your glances upon us, we'll be looking at her too. So we are servants of Srimati Radharani. So Kripa Drishti Vrishtyati Dinam. Oh, if Radharani is beside you, how come you're Deen? Deen means very helpless. How is it you are helpless? Because I'm helpless, therefore I'm taking shelter of Radharani. Those who feel that they are not helpless, they never consider Radha. They directly go to Krishna. But since I feel helpless, therefore I take shelter of Srimati Radharani. कृपा दृष्टि वृष्ट्याति दीनं बतानु. Please, this is my sincere prayer unto you, my dear Lord, my plea unto you. Gruhanisha mam. Can I add any value to your existence? Mama, yeah. I don't think so. But I definitely can guarantee you, my Lord, I will not do anything that will take away from your glory. That I will not do. Can I add value? I'm a, I'm a simple fool. I really do not know by myself what is good for me, what is not good for me. But when I take shelter of great personalities under their guidance, I get some vision, some direction in life. Therefore, please, my dear Lord, Grihanesha Mamagyam Hedhyakshi Drishya Akshidrish. Please, my dear Lord, please offer your mercy unto me. So, this is the prayer that we sing in supplication, in surrender unto Lord Damodar in the month of Damodar, in the month of Kartik. So, in the month of Kartik, we are very fortunate to hear the glories of Kartik. At least we have better opportunities than the cat and the mouse. Much more better opportunities, isn't it? And whatever self esteem we have of ourselves, that should make us feel that if the cat and the mouse can get that benediction, then why should I also aspire to have that kind of benediction? So, such an aspiration is very, very helpful. Let's stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
I've heard reference to before why we offer the lamb. And I heard that there was a situation one time where Mother Yashoda was checking Lord Krishna for bruises and she was using the lamp. Have you heard that before? I'm trying to figure out where I get this reference from. Basically, she was scanning over his body with this light. So have you heard anything about that before? I'm trying to figure out where I heard it.
But it's interesting.
I want to find it.
Sure. Yes. And once you do, please share it with all of us. Yes. Thank you. Anything else? Anyone? We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrind.